What is going on, everybody? It's Christian Perez, and I want to talk to you about the peer education program that I've been looking into recently. So this is Cape Peninsula's University of Technology's HIV/AIDS unit, okay? And what this is a sexual education program that teaches students how to teach other students about how to apply this education to their daily life and for the future, right? So I think a lot of people know what AIDS is, right? I'm sure you and I obviously knew about that before this presentation. But what I think is important is that the average person really doesn't know about sexual education in general, okay? So if I'm going to explain that briefly, just using numbers, only 33% of 18 to 29-year-olds know properly what sexual education is. That's a huge problem because that means the average person really doesn't know this, right? If you talk about AIDS in general, the numbers from the year 2000 were 28.9 million and increased in 2017 to 37.1 million. Okay, I do want to say that the rate has declined, and that's because of sexual education companies like this one. But that's besides the point, right? I don't have to tell you how big of a problem this is. What I want to get into is why I chose this specifically, and that's because of the peer leadership that I saw. So they actually, like I said, they teach students how to teach other students. I think this is huge, and this is definitely the way of the future, because when you're talking about peer education in general, this is more of like a one-on-one thing or a small group. Right, you have a peer mentor who teaches you exactly what you need to know and how to apply it to your life. So when it comes to sexual education, which is something many people aren't comfortable about talking to a healthcare professional or even their teacher or professor, whoever's teaching it, right? I think students are a much better option because students have influence on students, right? No matter how hard a teacher tries, they're not dealing with the same things that students are dealing with at the time, at the current period. So the relatability factor that peer mentorship by someone like you adds, I think, is very key, right? It's very crucial. So if I'm talking about the leadership here, what they do is very smart, right? They test you for HIV. They have a campaign that they do this, and if you're HIV positive, they actually show you and refer you to a care and support program that they also run. Okay, so this teaches you how to live your lifestyle and how to teach others based on your current situation. If you're HIV negative, obviously you don't have to deal with being HIV positive and having AIDS in your life, but it teaches you how to be compassionate for others who are dealing with this situation, and I think that's really essential, right? So professionals are teaching students how to teach the average person how to actually learn about sexual education and apply it to their life, right? There's also a voluntary medical male circumcision program, which is free to any males that want to do this, and I think that's amazing because obviously, you know, in the States it costs a lot of money, but here they're offering it for free. On top of that, they're giving you a program to follow up with in the next few weeks after the surgery, or sorry, a few months, and that pretty much prepares you obviously for the subsequent weeks that you have to deal with and how to take care of yourself in the future, right? Because it's all about preventative measures, right? They want to teach you and educate you on your sexual health to prevent stuff happening like HIV or AIDS. But if you do have an STD, they also teach you how to deal with that as well. Okay, like I got into, influence is super important. I think that's why the leadership here is so great, because think about it. Millennials and Generation Z are part of the technology and information age, right? They blew up social media. Companies like Uber and Airbnb are there just because of influence, right? Word of mouth marketing, people showing other options to others. Here, if you grab a very good initiative about sexual health and teach it to other students through social media, which Cape Peninsula has done, you're going to get a huge response. And I personally think that's why you're going to see huge declines in the HIV prevalence in the future. Right, so I think this is smart. They're adapting, they're very forward thinking in this way. If you're talking about accomplishments, they've launched many campaigns for women's health and men's health in Africa and many other continents just from this university, right? They also celebrate World AIDS Day every single year, and I think that's a really good thing that they're doing. They've accomplished a lot. The only fallback I really see is because of students, what I've seen from many sources is this broken telephone concept. Okay, and what that means is that obviously these aren't professionals teaching other students for the most part. So it's easy for knowledge and education to be obscured. But I think this is an easy fix. The solution is just maybe running weekly trainings with your leaders and making sure they're in the right mental state and also are keeping up to date with the statistics and the healthcare procedures that they need to do for people that are dealing with this, or just basic education in general. So that's all I wanted to talk about. This is why I feel that this is why I chose them separate from other healthcare education institutions. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you really learned something from this. Maybe you want to educate yourself, but that's all I have to say. It's Christian. Later, guys.